Cyclopean, the one-eyed super guy who's fighting by your side is free. Don't let it be. Come on and read free. Read free at HeroShack.com. Peter, Tony, Plato too. Something there for all of you. Fighting by your side is free. Don't let it be. Come on and read free. Read free.
We've all read the story. The brave hero conquers the diabolical villain and rescues the damsel in distress. But this is real life, and in real life,
stories don't always have happy endings. Frog G, the story of a man turned into a frog by a voodoo priestess sent on a mission to kill a god by death itself. Now our hero must roam the underworld to regain his humanity and win back the woman he loves.
Tayo ba? Ang gusto maiklingan.
For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ.
Tis of thee. It's the badass of the galaxy. He's nothing special, so they say, till the tiger gets his day. Square dance, denim pants, Melvin is the rodeo. Last chance on the crazy bull, Melvin is the rodeo. A country punk with too much spunk, a city slick with a gigantic kick. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Oh yeah.
Darkness dies. Darkness dies. Yeah. Evil lurks throughout the land. It's eating at the common man. The darkness seeks to pull you down. Push your ass into the ground. What's wrong is right, what's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong. When the pressure of the battle comes, our battles must be fought as one. Titans rise, seize the fight. Taking down the wicked with the power of might. Justice is back in season. Captain or a leader of the team. Thunder fist, the secret in the shadows. Vulcan speedier than any bullet. Moonstar, the mind is deeper than the well. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Titans rise to crush A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting to end his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time. Now he lets the man no reasons to live. With this the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. And threatens many. Canadian shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian shield wins and many are saved. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
The Canadian Shield 3 coming your way on Fund My Comic on July 5th, 2025 at noon Eastern Standard Time. Be there! Oh yeah! Canadian Shield rocks!
Like the beauty of the dawn and the heat of the day. As the sun sets lovely, midnight strikes the heart. Perfect ten, perfect, perfect ten, perfect ten.
On the quote, the fuck it down. Under the ring, mature with a zing, mature with a zing, violent with a sting. It is Eladio. My atomic comic, item, tick, comic, kick, under the ring. It is Eladio. And atomic comic, Eladio.
got no pickup or puppy dog. Just got my weapons and fatigues on. I got a crazy look and an amazing book. But don't scramble my eggs, Country Melvin. Don't shave my damn legs, Country Melvin. Don't get in the way, a Country Melvin. A pew pew and punch two, pew pew and punch two.
For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. What's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong until the final battle comes. Brother, we're the only ones. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Ties to crush the villains. Justice is back in season. Titans rise, crush the wicked. Justice is back in season. Titans rise,
some images of Angel of Death. Alright, and I'll let you guys check it out now.
Angel of death, that's his name. Taking on you demons and setting your blades. Looking one unholy scum for all your evil deeds. Punishment you come. Angel of death, high in the sky, setting ablaze throughout the night. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide in the sky. Setting ablaze throughout the night. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Punishment comes sky.
So who is coming to fund my comics on July 5th, 2025? It's the one, the only, the courageous Canadian Shield landing on Fund My Comic on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. Be there! Yeah!
Like the beauty of the dawn and the heat of the day, as the sun sets lovely, midnight strikes the heart.
We've all read the story. The brave hero conquers the diabolical villain and rescues the damsel in distress. But this is real life, and in real life,
Stories don't always have happy endings. Frog G, the story of a man turned into a frog by a voodoo priestess sent on a mission to kill a god by death itself. Now our hero must roam the underworld to regain his humanity and win back the woman he loves.
When I was a child, I talked like a child, I taught like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of child hook behind me. First Corinthians, for now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. First Corinthians 13. And them be you and them versus me, them be everyone. Them be you, them versus me, them everyone. Will you fight or will you run? Them be you, them be me, them versus all of us. And hero heroes we believe. Hero
That is right. That is AI. I think I'm on. I don't know where Diana is. I shared the link with you, Diana. But I will share it in the chat. Anybody's welcome to join, including Diana, if she's still there. There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't see you in the chat. You're not on the screen. You're not on. What are you talking about?
Right.
There we
There.
go. Now you're on. I'm talking to myself.
Oh
And
man.
look what the cat dragged in. There we go.
Think that way about your wife.
My wife is a trooper. She's exhausted, but she's a trooper. What's up, Eric? Yeah, I was doing a little experimenting with AI. Obviously. It's just a reality. And I'll be honest, guys, that's all from Grok on X. Totally free. Well, not totally free because I am a subscriber, but yeah, I was just goofing around and I decided to put a tune together about us versus them. Because as you guys know, we're always against them.
Who is them?
Those guys, you know them.
them.
I decided a couple
The mysterious them.
I decided a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to drama bomb, but I don't want to do it against anybody. So we're against them.
Whoever them are.
Those guys that you don't like, yeah, them. Those guys over there. Or girls.
Oh my word.
Or whoever. But we know
It's
who they are.
your own interpretation.
No, we know who they are. They're against Hero Shack. They're trying to shut us out of the market. They're
Yeah.
They're what do they call that? They're gatekeeping us out of the world.
How dare they? Chris.
Yes.
I have to show something to you. And you've seen this before. I've seen it before. Your cover. This cover is so good. I never noticed the one flaw with it till like a few days ago.
Okay, what is it? I don't see it. Wait.
You forgot to put the white shield emblem on the glove.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a white shield when I drew it, I bet.
Oh well, it's still a badass cover.
Actually, I think I can actually fix that because I think I have the original still.
Yeah, this is only like 3 years old, and I just found it like a week ago.
You know what's going to be tempting is not to not to mess with it beyond what you need.
I
just 3 years old, but it looks so good in the reflection, the way it blends.
Yeah, best not to mess with it. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I was just on somebody else's show and I had it up. I didn't say anything, but I ended up noticing that 1 second, the white shield emblem isn't on the glove.
Let's see. I just saw it. Oh shoot! Hang on. I just saw it like the other day when I was looking through my art pages. I wonder where it is. Covers? Maybe? No.
It's not a biggie. It took me 3 years to notice.
Well, it could even be fixed without finding the original, but it would be nice to use the original digital.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll find it. But so what else is up?
What else? I've been waiting like I think I saw it last Thursday or something.
Oh, Rick, this is
where
cool.
the heck is Chris?
This have you seen Flit on what's on Flit's page on X?
Who's?
Flit.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
I know. You're talking about the Nintendo thing? Super Nintendo?
Yeah, that is cool. It's like a Super Nintendo box for a cartridge.
Yeah.
And he's got it's a Canadian Shield game.
What are you talking about?
Okay, here, give me a second.
I'll show it.
All right, hang on. Let me get my mouse because I'm still looking for the cover. I ought to put that down till after the show.
Okay,
I think I'll do that.
Boom, boom.
I'm a terrible host if I don't.
Here we go.
Yeah, he did that a couple weeks ago.
Well, I just
no
now
kidding.
noticed it. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, who did that for you?
Flit
I
Amaranth.
see it.
I kind of want there to be a Canadian Shield Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, now there has to be. My cat was crying at my door.
I kind of want
Remember the one who dropped a mouse on me last week? She's back without a mouse
She's mouseless.
for now. She's scary.
Thank goodness. I
She
know. I
was the
probably
new
should
Cubs
shut the
house.
door. This is the time of night
probably.
they bring them in.
I'll go
Ah.
shut it. Hang on. You keep
All
them.
right.
You keep the crowd busy, honey.
Okay. So, welcome everybody. I am so glad to be here. And let's see. We went to the Plastic City Comic Con this past Saturday. By about 3 o'clock, I was going to fall off my feet with exhaustion, but I made it through. Our sons came and helped us out, which was really cool. We had our younger kiddo, Jace, came Friday night and helped us set up. And that was a huge help. And then our older son, Mike, came to the event, and he did a bunch of shopping, but he also stayed until 5 to help us break down and load everything in the car because I can't really do all that, you know.
Was Plastic City only one day, or?
Yes, it was just one day, but they were able to open the doors Friday night from 6 to 9, which
Oh, yeah.
honestly,
For her,
if I
Yeah,
wasn't in my
Hamilton Comic Con does that too. The night
Yeah,
before
well,
the day
right,
before
and-
they.
Well, it's funny because we weren't sure if we could get in, but it made it a lot easier on me, given my delicate condition these days. So, yeah. So it went really well, Tim. I'm sorry we missed you, buddy. I'm hoping maybe next time around. Or
Next time around, yeah. I kind of just put the cart before the horse, and
it's okay. It's a learning
We
experience.
told the group of kids that showed up looking for Melvin that he was a good friend
He's
of,
so
of
full of it.
Cyclopean.
Chris. Yeah.
So Melvin
Oh
and
my
Cyclopean, they're best friends. Yeah.
yes. Melvin always comes around and asks for $20 because he's going through hard times. And Cyclopean's like,
That's
I don't
okay.
know. The
It's
wife
all
doesn't want
right.
me to give you any more money and all. You know.
So Rick, about the Canadian Shield video game,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's even feasible yet. I know AI is supposed to be able to make games, right? But I don't know what program, and I don't know how much that really.
You would
that
think.
looks like.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Shep, aka Hiawatha, just like the thing I shared of the Canadian Shield cartridge.
Well, it's pretty cool. It would be
Yeah,
cool
well,
if
a
you could
lot-
make one.
Yeah, but see, on it he does. It's not Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It's Cross Comics.
Yeah, still it looks cool,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we know what it looks like though.
Prime
Yeah.
something.
I just wish that I wish it would be like one of those beat 'em ups,
That would be cool.
like
You could fight like killer trees.
yeah.
What you by beat 'em up? Are you talking like
Double
Street Fighter?
Dragon.
Oh, I was thinking Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is a fighting game. Beat 'em up is like Double Dragon, Streets of was it Rumble City?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about with that one. But years ago, there was a game called Freedom Force, and there was a mod to use their stuff that you could make a game. And I started trying to make the Canadian Shield with it. I started trying to do.
Outcast is in the house, by the way.
Hey.
Tried to
Oh,
do
is he gonna
skins
be
of my
on?
characters
I
for
don't
it.
see him. I don't see him.
I see him in the chat. He said, "Hi, Chris. Here, I'm gonna prove it. I got receipts, brother. Check
got-
this out.
you
Check
got
that
receipt?
out. That's a receipt."
Oh man,
Yeah.
he sure showed
Yeah,
me.
he was just over on my channel before we came over here. We
Yeah,
went
no
to about-
drama here, man. We know who they are. It's not Tim.
I don't know.
That
Lord,
Timothy,
Lord
Timothy,
Raptor
Timothy.
Jesus is hilarious, though. I think
Oh, he is.
because
he-
these mother truckers talking all that shit.
He's got himself a good character going.
Oh,
I know that he's not exactly the most intellectual gentleman on the streams, but he is entertaining.
Honestly, I mean, like whatever he's supposed to be doing a parody of what Shane Davis does, and Shane Davis just when he does it, you can tell he's just kind of masking his insecurity. But when Lord Raptor Jesus does it, it's funny, and he kind of reminds me of like one of those like revival preachers.
He can in one of those personas. He has like two of them going on. He'll like talk real calm, and then he goes really crazy, and then he comes back down. You know what I mean?
We got some good stuff on the show tonight.
But he rattles off little one-liners, about what's happening. He'll say something really shocking, but then he'll like come right back with the other voice, and you almost forget what he just said. Yeah. It's really a good stick if you like entertain. If you like drama streams about comics, and honestly, that circle's gotten so small, it's like a soap opera now. You can follow it. There's about 10 lead characters, and they just go back and forth, and the rest of us just kind of go, oh, look how stupid they look this time.
Are you talking about Lord Raptor Jesus? Or are you talking about?
I'm talking about CG and CG, all their stuff. Yeah,
okay, because Lord Raptor Jesus ain't stupid. Well,
what did you guys think about the launch of Pitt?
You can easily go on Amazon or eBay and get those cheap.
Yeah, and it's kind of disappointing that they're just scanning the comic. I guess I'm not sure how that's working, but it's not your typical reprint. I know that it's not coming like from Direct Art, and it's just
they could have easily gotten people more interested with a whole new Pitt story to add it into it.
Well, I think that's the problem. Dale doesn't produce that much work anymore, apparently.
No, have you seen a picture of him when he started becoming Comicsgate and then like now?
In terms of how he's changed?
Well, he looks terrible.
Yeah. Well,
he looks like a mess.
I don't want to talk about him because I do, but I don't. Like I don't want to talk about
his
health, and I do respect his art. He is.
Yeah.
People talk about Ethan being something, and I'm sorry, Dale is a better artist. And
Dale is a legend that's past his prime. That's the thing, and that's sad.
Only because I think he's lost his focus. Like I wish he was my neighbor, because I'd be over there doing like the Back to the Future Karate Kid combo. Come on, Doc, you got to teach me. They're gonna beat me up if you don't show me how to do the Magyagi sketch. Yeah.
The Magyagi sketch.
I do like the guy generally when he's talking. He seems okay, and then he kind of, I'm sorry, I'll say it. I think he gets misled. I think
he gets led around by pardon my French, but Poon. He gets led around by Poon.
I'm trying to think of a way to argue that, and I can't. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah. But like I like how Lord Raptor Jesus he plays off his chat. Like what? Well, why don't I just? And then he has like a sound effect of like a gun cocking back and firing.
Oh! I gotta add sound effects next.
Yeah.
Next level sound effects. Actually, though, I like our little chat. Everybody is welcome to join, but very few dare to because it's so adventurous. I understand.
Yeah. Except for that one year when you kept getting all these randos and you had to kind of ambigonate like the screen so you just in case they decide to do something.
Well, when you get those is when you put it in the description. They seem to catch it in the description. But you can randomly put it in chat and nobody seems to, none of the weirdos seem to catch it, thank God. But every time I put it in the description, boom. Hey, I got to show you a picture. Oh, really? What's your... Okay, that was cute. Now I have to cut the stream. And yeah, I do remember those.
Yeah.
Very upsetting. We lost some of our best streams that way.
Aw.
Gone forever.
The best streams of my generation destroyed by madness.
Amateur porn. It's the worst thing on the internet.
Yeah.
My cat is crazy.
If you only realize the joke you just said.
My cat is crazy?
You crazy cat?
Yeah, well, she is, though.
Oh, that's
me and jumping around my room, and I'm getting nervous because, like, what if she brought a mouse that wasn't dead in?
So
They've done that before too.
there was a stream recently where a certain Clippa, because she's a mother effing Clippa, came on a stream and tried to make DG apologize for theorizing that this one rando called Crazy Cat was Vic King.
But he wasn't the king.
We don't know.
Oh,
But she was all kind of upset. Now
Oh my.
now Hargrave is going around just making it's like a running joke now that you go around saying, "Oh, Crazy Cat is Vic King."
could he really be still lurking around? I suppose he could.
Yeah, well, I mean, like alt accounts, and I mean, you guys can find out for sure.
Well, yeah, I guess we could. I don't think he would. I don't know. I don't think he would. Be able
Who
to
is
change
this
his
again?
art style.
Oh, it was some rando named Crazy Cat who's been in chats for a long time, and GG had this theory that it might be Crazy Cat might be an alt for Vic King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
I think it's hilarious.
That
Kind of
whole
Most
business
unfortunate
is crazy.
stories in indie comics, though. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of them,
Yeah.
but that guy had a lot of people hoping he was going to like make something, and it blew up on him quick.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this Crazy Cat guy is going around. He calls people certain things, and
Oh, no.
and
Those things.
a certain word, but I'm not gonna say.
Naughty word, right? A naughty word.
You mean like an Adobe file type?
Yes.
I get it.
And so I just think it's funny that DG just made a theory, and then she came in there and she tried to show these receipts and tried to make him apologize. Oh, hey, I was the star of the show for a second there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thunderfist has joined the room.
Yo,
Hey.
what it
Hey.
is?
What up, Randy?
What it is. It is a.
Hey, what's going on?
I don't know what it is.
Getting closer to the release of Darkness Dies.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited, you guys. He finished the actual story. It is finished. It is literally done. The story itself is done. He is going back. He's got some pages to finish up the art on. The story is flipping amazing. Wait until you see this. Wait until you read this.
Whoa, watch
It's
the language,
so good.
lady.
I know, right? It's so good. It's
Well,
so good. I cannot wait to read it from front to back.
I think it's safe to say I kind of experienced the writer's block. Even though I knew how the story was going to end, I wanted something that was going to stick and make it like have some meat to the bone. And it came to me, and I was like, this is it. And I told Diane, and she looked at me like, that's crazy. And then she read it, and she was very satisfied. So,
yep, I thought
it worked
was
better in
perfect.
execution.
And Diana, don't send my books till that's done because.
Oh, I figured that. I figured that. I still have them. The first set is still in its Gemini packaging. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
probably
one, and
repackage
then the one that I got a couple years ago now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's still at my desk in a little spot that says "Send to Rick."
But do remember I paid for them up to date.
Yep,
the ones
I
up to
do.
date.
Oh yeah, I have
And
that
then
all
I-
locked in, buddy. Yep. You don't owe me anything.
Well,
You know?
like I said, whatever the difference is, I think I gave $25 American
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
shipping. If it's any more, let me know.
I will. But we'll
Yeah,
be
but you
able
gave us Canadian money. That's good.
to- Canadian money.
You gotta love getting a coin called a loony. You gotta love that.
Oh, that's cool. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
I
What
don't
was
know
that?
It was like a spaceship going overhead, but it wasn't. It was something on somebody's mic. But
I thought it was something I did. I'm like, oh God, what did I do now?
no,
I
it
always
was.
get in trouble.
Well, what Rick did was he went back to where he stored his Monopoly game and took out some money and sent it to you.
Yeah, so the book is near completion, but I have to caution everybody because I want to get these last art pages right. So actually, they're going quicker than normal, but it's not because I'm like cheating. It's because they're already several of them are already close to being done. Um, the very last pages are the least detailed, but they will get detailed, and that's really what's a matter of. I go back and I add the shadows. I make sure the backgrounds are right. I check
Yeah.
I check the anatomy. I'm being very careful in checking out male buttocks because I had a
Got in trouble last time.
I knew it. I always fucking knew it.
yeah. Tony told me that I drew one of Vulcan's asses really big, so I've been very.
You did tell me that he told you that, yeah. Did tell me. He said, he was like, I told Chris, I'm like, Chris, what the fuck? When did Stacy's ass get so big? What do you have, a BBL? God damn.
He told me that, and I'm like, oh man, now I got to fix it. But remember, this is why I've been going like radio silence for what, a month now, is because I had to lock out any suggestions because that was what was holding me up every time somebody said something. And I mean anybody that knew anything about the book, it was putting me into like this loop where I would cross-reference, check, and double check and make sure, all this stuff.
He's
So-
showing
So,
up at
when I made that
get-togethers.
offhand comment as a joke a few years back.
Oh, things you say, I like almost dread letting you read my stuff because I'm like, okay, where is it? Where's the mistake? Rick is going to find it, and he'll go, Chris, page 11, the upper right hand corner,
I
before
Channel
feel
4.
bad for sending those videos of Goju Kata because maybe I gave it too much to think about too.
No,
Sorry.
you want to know the truth? I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched them yet. I have them queued to watch because I've just been focused. But I know you sent them. I just haven't had a chance to watch them.
I'm
And
sorry.
today, so that video that I showed,
never
you
mind.
happen to see the new video?
I s-
Are you talking to
Who
me?
are you asking?
Everybody,
exactly?
yeah, just anybody and everybody.
Well, I've seen a
Just
couple of them in
What's the question? Have you seen what?
the new video. Hang on, I made it easy to cue. I'll put it on without music, I guess. Let's see how this will work. Add to stage. All right. So today I started at about 5:00 and I wanted to mess around a bit. And I'd used AI with Grok to animate a whole bunch of my art. And I put it to a fun little AI song. And then I let Grok do the animation. I just uploaded my images and let it do its best. Mangai Yushokin. It's funny though, because it will change details if you're not careful. Like here, it does a whole little flip with the faces. But I let it go because it's for fun. But this took less than 2 hours to just mess around with.
Yeah, I thought it was
That's
pretty
kinda
funny. I
cool.
was laughing.
I like
I was
it.
like, cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. That's
The
pretty
thing is,
bad.
if I actually dedicate like a day to this, I could make a really
Cyclopean got him a one-eyed girlfriend. Oh wow.
yeah, Cyclopia in issue 9 and 10.
Yeah, I saw part of this. These parts
This is
now
like-
I saw.
This is so oh, look at this. This is kind of dumb because Tony's powers aren't really fire, but it looks really cool, so I left it. It looks almost flamey, but it was like, that's too cool.
Who's that guy?
Darkness.
That is the
Night.
Cardinal of Justice. Neo.
That's the new guy coming out.
Who on
Yeah.
the hood? That one?
Yeah.
He was really struggling on that cover.
Yeah.
It was weird. I think they were trying to show it like he was falling into like a bunch of knives or something because the sound effects it put to it was like ting, 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 ting. But you couldn't see or hear that. But
It's just so funny to watch it. I was like, oh my
Everyone
God,
was
Chris.
like idiots. That was funny. The one of us dancing was funny.
Oh, are you talking about the other videos? Or in this one?
No, the one that just showed us all before it was dancing.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Right before you turn it off. Right before you turn it off.
I thought you were talking about Oh,
And
I'm
of
the-
course, I had the best busting of the moves. Of course.
Ah,
Oh, for sure.
I programmed that. I said make sure Thunderfist has the best moves.
So, Randy here, I am a friend with him on Facebook, and he's seen some of the updates. I'm sure. So what?
Yeah, you roboted, bro.
Well, anyway.
Right.
No, I you roboted. I didn't hear a single thing.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. You totally went like, and then it went dead.
Like you just did, I think. All right.
came
Well, what I
back.
said was I did see the panel that Tim sent me, and it looked like you only had the one panel down in the lower corner to finish the detail.
Oh yeah. Sid has to finish that lower corner. Yes. I like showing
But it looked
everybody.
good, man.
Yeah, I like showing people every step of the way so they never know. I like showing people every step of the way so they never wonder, is he working on the book? Is the book being worked on at all? Yeah, I show you everything.
Almost like me.
Sometimes a person following you has already seen the book, even though the lettering's not there.
Yeah.
They've seen all the artwork because you show it all.
Well, people, you know how short people's attention spans are?
No, I assume once I meet them once, I am forever etched into a
Oh
brain
my
cell.
goodness. Oh
And
my
all I have to do is shine through that brain cell.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you didn't even meet me, and I was etched in your brain.
The thing about that is, I find myself making a serious point. Oh, shiny bike! Look at that.
Yeah.
I
found a nickel.
It's a fan theater.
I don't even have to meet you to be etched in your brain. Just ask Chris.
Yeah, we're all psychologically scarred, Rick.
No, well, I found out about Chris because he was doing a video on Christian comics, and I was one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo pointed me to him, saying that he was doing this.
Yeah, Chris does that.
How did I meet everybody here? I know I met you guys through Rick.
It was all through Rick. Rick is a network hub. Like, that's how I found Dillard. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known anything about Dillard, for instance.
How did I meet Rick, though?
Well, Rick comes through the wall. If you mention Jesus once in your chat, he's like, "Oh, you are my friend."
Well, somehow you were in my chat, and I know you were saying about your book, and I invited you up. I'm not sure whether that.
Oh, was Tim doing that back then?
Yeah, I was doing it back then.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether it was that day or another day. I said, "Oh, you can come on for an interview."
I swear, Tim, I think you spend your free time looking for live streams to go on, and like it could be like knitting kittens with grandmas, and you'll go on and go, "Hey, everybody! If you really want to knit a kitten, you should check out Melvin 3 on Amazon."
Yeah, well, he wasn't quite there like he is now then, but he was just in, and I'm not sure whether I was the first person to invite him on, but I think I was the first person.
I think you were.
Well, I almost have down to a comedy skit because really, I'm like, I could see you going into like, bird watching chats or weather enthusiasts, voting.
Some guys dying from
Melvin on issue 4.
Somebody's doing a vlog about how they're going through cancer or something like that. Hey, if you seriously want to get some,
you want to feel better, you should go buy Melvin.
Yeah.
I can see you doing that though. It's so funny because
there's nothing wrong with some sales. Pitching
Melvin I call LA, but his real name is Jeff, and he runs Darby Printing, right? Darby Publishing.
LA something.
It's Jeff Klein.
Yeah, Darby Pop. I'm sorry, that's what it's called.
Darby Pop. Okay.
And he was he's a great salesman, and he was sitting next to us all show. And I was learning a lot from him, but I can't sell for the life of me.
Chris is terrible. Just terrible.
You're giving away those coloring books. They're like substantially thick. but they were 4-year-old kids, you know, and they were cute.
Chris is like, they're so cute looking, honey. And I just roll my eyes. I'm like, fine, just do
But,
it. You're going to do it
all I need is
anyways.
that seed. So maybe 2 years down the road, the 6-year-old will be at the next show and he's colored all the Cyclopeans and he looks up and goes, Dad.
At that point, you give a digital to the parent.
Oh, the parent knows about the digital. I tell everybody go to HeroShock.com.
Dad,
Yeah, but
that guy.
In the middle of my sales, guys, in the middle of my sales, Chris goes, so I just want you to let you know they're all free on the website. Me and Jeff are looking at each other like, do you want to slap him this time or do I want to slap him?
Jeff was
Because
like,
it
stop
doesn't
doing
work.
that. Stop.
It's like, oh my God, he's so bad.
Damn.
But anyways,
you almost it's bad. You almost can't have the creator there and the artist.
I can't.
Well,
Do you know that
the problem is literally the goal. And my wife is right. The goal should be to recoup money that's time and, from the time and energy and cost of everything. I should be interested in recruiting more money back. But I'm really more interested in getting the kids into it because that to me is like seeds in the farm.
Yeah, I can see that. That's true too.
But
for me, I'm not really concerned too much about the money as much as I am about building an audience. Then the money will come later.
Well, and that's all fine and dandy, but when you're paying money for a table, good business practice, you want to at least pump your table. Otherwise, your business is going to go belly up. And that's what I try to tell Chris. If we're paying, let's say $40 for a table and we make that 40 back in sales, great. But he's out there willy-nilly, and this money that we paid for the table a lot of times comes out of a personal account as opposed to the business account trying to build up sales.
Then again, hold on. Then again, it works for you guys because you guys are married and you're working on, you have to pay more bills. Me, on the other hand, I'm the only, besides the people I hire, I am the guy, and I can easily do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm freer to do stuff like that.
I have to tell you though, honey, I was yawning while you were saying all that stuff, so I couldn't hear you.
Oh my God.
I agree with Diana. Although I haven't made a profit from a show yet.
What?
I have never sold enough to make back what I put into getting to the show. And
I mean, we have, and it's great, but we haven't recouped everything we've put into the business at this point. And and that's okay. That's why we're still working full time, and Chris is still doing what he's doing, and
that's why we're asking people to help us against them.
Well, I mean, what I said makes sense.
I don't know who them is, but I would hope we can get against them and get the Canadian Shield more funded. We are $43 Canadian.
Those guys who are
away from the first stretch goal.
Yay! That's awesome.
I was saying what I said made sense, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't everybody answer at once.
Yeah, and it makes sense definitely to a degree. You're taking it out of your own pocket, and if you can live with taking it out of your pocket to pay for a table or pay for whatever, that's great. But you should be trying to recoup some of your money.
Well, I mean, you can do all those things if you plan it right.
Yeah.
I mean, I have easily made books after books after books based on what I get paid, and I'm still living. So,
yeah.
That's the funny thing, because I know that the 4 people who have created comics on this panel tonight all understand how actually not so hard it is to do the technical stuff to make a book. It can be challenging, but we've all
always marketing and sales. That's
no, I mean actually creating the book. It's all about getting the creative together and then getting it published. And
as stupid as it sounds, creating the book is the easy part.
Right, that's what I said.
No, I think creating the book is the hardest part, because all I got to do is churn out a PDF that I can run through.
All I got to do is just hand things out at a table, and we're golden, because we don't make any money. So Chris,
eventually they're going to buy the toy kits and the clothing line, and they're going to watch the cartoon and the movie.
Mhm.
Get the merch.
They're gonna
So
do-
my advice to all these future comic creators: don't expect to make a lot of money the first.
Well, no, you don't
Day
expect to make money, period. Expect to
Right.
light the world on fire with your imagination. And if
There
you
you go.
do so, the money will come with it. That's the thing that gets
I
to me.
I hate to bring it up, but that reminds me of that documentary about the LA hardcore scene in the '80s. You had the lead singer of Black Flag talking about what they ask him, what do you make it on when you're touring? He goes, practically nothing.
Yeah.
All the money goes back into promotion.
Yeah.
And the guy from TSOL, he's like, no one ever said they're gonna play my song on the radio. No, they're not. You're they don't want you. You're just doing it for the fun of it.
Mhm.
And then like 40 plus years later, all of a sudden, music like that is the highway that all these younger bands drive on.
That's what happens, though, isn't it? Well, that's what has happened.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it doesn't pay off now, but maybe it pays off later. Maybe it
Right.
pays off when you die. Just
That's true.
Well, the thing too is, let's talk about: are you having fun while you're doing it? Is this
yeah.
something you're passionate about? And if it is, then that doesn't matter.
Well, I
If
gotta
you
tell
have
you,
the means to do it, then do it.
it's going to turn out Darkness Dies is going to be, it's going to have taken me a whole entire year to really do this book.
Yeah.
And to say, was it fun? Not all of it, but it's satisfying and it was worth it. Like, it's like going to the gym and saying it's fun is kind of disingenuous, because there are times when, if you're going to the gym on a regular basis, there are times when it's not fun. It's hard work. The same thing with, churning out a good comic. It's hard work. But it's also
it's funny. There's a friend of mine that I work with who's pretty jacked. Like, he's not as big as Tony, but he's pretty jacked. And he was saying to me, he was saying to another guy, it was a three-way conversation we were talking about working out. And Justin said to this other guy, he said, he was talking about, like, well, sometimes I don't feel like getting up and going to the gym. And Justin said, listen, I go to the gym every day, but maybe one day out of 7, I want to go to the gym, but you got to make yourself go to the gym. It doesn't matter whether you want to. Nobody wants to, but it's something you got to do. You got to go through the pain,
Yeah, if you're serious about it, you got to dig in the time.
It's like with anything you do.
Earn your stars and bars.
Reminds me of guitar playing. I remember when I first started playing my first steel string guitar. Oh, my fingers are bleeding. They hurt. It didn't matter. I had to play. But you have to go through the blisters to get to the blistering licks.
I see there. That was clever.
Yeah, I just
Very
thought
good.
it through. Oh,
I
actually,
know.
really good. I had a lot of good zingers today.
Or you could be like Steve Jones and just
Let me go a little off topic here. How do I get the little white text line under where it says my name, Randy Martin, in blue? Like, you all have something else underneath that.
When you're loading in,
Oh no, wait a minute. You see where
there's
it
two
says,
different lines to fill out.
yeah, but he can do it now too. If you go under your 3 dots, next to your little tiny one on the bottom, and click edit name and headline, I think
The
the white
horizontal dots, the horizontal 3 dots, or the vertical 3 dots?
vertical 3 dots. And I can change Hero Shack down there in my white to like Moonstar. And then
Right. Yeah, that's how I changed the avatar. But what, edit name and headline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just changed Hero Shack to Moonstar. In fact, let me do the other way around there. Oh, yeah, I see. It's different if you click your big picture. You got to pick a little picture on the bottom to get edit name. All right, let's see.
Oh, I see. All right.
All right, and then down here I'll put. There we go. Okay, now I'm having fun with. Yeah, there we go.
like this month. I think I sold 2 Zen and Odysseus books, 1 Melvin
cool.
2 and 1 Melvin 3, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know,
That's wicked cool.
I get the money on my PayPal, and I just throw it into
Yeah.
my PayPal savings.
Yeah, that's awesome, Tim.
And I
Yeah,
have
there's-
to tell you, we did good at the show. The funny thing was, the best sale was a $5 sale of a little like
my
cyclopean
plush.
yeah
Plush.
plush that
It's a little
my
plush
wife
toy.
made. It was one that she wasn't intending on selling. It was a
There we go.
it was just an example. There you go, man.
What's it say?
Thunderfist of the North Star. I think that's what it says. I don't have my glasses on, so if
That is what it
Yeah.
says. Yeah, that's what it says.
Sweet. Hey,
Hey.
Tony's still in chat.
That's for horses.
Look, he's still in chat.
You should
Oh,
get
yeah.
on panel.
He is.
He's talking about training hard until you fail. I guess that
You
he's
fail
talking
to train, you train to fail.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
And then you get up and you try again and you fail some more.
Mm.
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the things about the ending of the book is a lot
Listen,
of the
you learn a whole lot more from failure than from success. Failure
Yep.
is what you need to learn in order to succeed.
Yep.
right.
That's
And
true.
that's where you figure out how to win because you
So-
know where not to go to lose.
So you walk up to the nearest person and go, "I hope you fail."
Yeah. It's all about, listen, life knocks you down all the time, man. It's not about whether that's going to happen. It's just when it's going to happen, you know?
You know, life.
But it's all
life,
about, it's all
life-
about getting your ass back up off the.
life knocks you down. You get up again.
I get knocked down,
Yeah.
but I get up
Get
again.
up again.
I don't know. You guys are kind of making me feel like I got to talk Jesus and say, well, every time I've been down, he's lifted me back up. And it sounds like I'm bullshitting, but I'm not. It's always been that way.
Can I get an amen? Nah, ha!
You want to hear,
Yeah,
how cool it is? I don't know if I told you guys this story, but when Diana went in the hospital, the first night that she went in, I was walking up to the hospital. I only knew the room number, had no idea how to get there. Her sister comes out. We talk for about 3 minutes. And as we're separating, she's like, do you know where to go? Do you know how to get there? I said, I have no idea, but, I'll find a way. Right behind her comes a woman. And she's like, I'm in room 204. I'll take you right up, right next to my wife. And it was like, that's how God works. Anytime I'm lost, boom, someone pops up. Yo, I'm going there. Come on, follow me. Or, it sounds crazy. It works every time. Do you know how I avoid getting stung out in the backyard by anything? Like my wife gets weird and she puts on all that, like, I don't know, Genghis Khan spray and stuff to keep
It's just stop. Just stop.
I just go out there and I say, in the name of Jesus, you leave me alone, B. And it goes away. I swear it does every time. Never fails. Same with the mosquitoes, although they can be tricky because there's so many that like they'll like you have to call them out by like you have to know who you're. If you haven't prayed against one, he can slip through. There. They're sneakier.
Mosquito, I rebuke you.
You can't like rebuke them all at once because it doesn't seem to work. You say, all right, all the mosquitoes, listen here. Some of them are like, it doesn't work.
Mosquitoes number 1 through 22.
Line up. I'm going to swat you.
Most nights that people are spraying, I don't have to spray at all. It's a wonderful thing. And I give it all to the Lord because in his name I say, leave me alone, you buggies. And they do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In my best Johnny Depp, you just keep telling yourself that, darling.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is the way it happens. Like, I'll go into a situation. Tech is the best business for me because I can walk in and not know anything about anything. And literally, I've prayed over equipment and had it come back to life. And had the other techs go, "You're lying. What'd you do?" And I'm like, "I'm telling you, I went in, my hands on the printer, and it started to print." And literally, it happens like. It happens more often than not, and I don't have to like. There's nobody I can tell because they just look at me like I'm crazy when I tell them. I've already told them before,
You don't say.
Yeah, it's awesome though.
You
Like,
don't say. Imagine that.
But it's funny because like some people will catch
Oh,
me.
you're damn right. You're damn right. It's funny.
Like, okay, there's a principal who keeps calling me to her room because she can't print in her office. And every time I go, literally I touch her computer and it literally starts spitting stuff out. It's like, she's like, "What'd you do?" I said, "All I did was turn it on." And I'm looking at it.
Macintosh, be healed.
Yeah. The dog whisperer, what? The apple whisperer. I don't know. It's
the
funny.
computer whisperer. The computer whisperer.
But like I'm not like that tech guy, you know what I mean? Like I can't look at something and go, "Oh, obviously that's this, and this, and we're just gonna fix that," and boom, you're done. Google is my best friend, and so is like God. It's like
Google and God.
how is it?
Google, God, Chris, the new Holy Trinity.
Yeah, really. But how does it happen?
Oh, man.
You don't know anything in it, and it, you're not even sure how you're going to approach the problem, and it starts to work, and you're like, you won't believe this. I didn't do anything, but it's working. And they're like, yeah, sure you didn't. And you're okay.
Oh, he's like Scotty. He's a medical lawyer today.
I don't know. Well, I do like pretending I'm Scotty. Because they always ask for things that I tell them I can't do, and then I figure out a way to do them in like 10 minutes.
She'll shake a pot, she will, Captain.
Well, okay, here's an example, and if anybody I work with is listening, it's a good example. I was called 2 days ago to get to work because there was a big meeting. Everybody was there, and they had to go on by 8:30, and I wasn't there yet. It was 7:45, and I showed up, and literally I put the whole thing together in 10 minutes. And it was kind of funny because my boss was like, "Oh, I guess you really do know this." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, it's easy." Boom, boom, boom. But it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's easy, but other people are like, "That's crazy. What'd you do?" Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I just did it. Like, you do it, The book, well, it's going up after you guys get your copies.
Right. We're gonna launch it on Kickstarter once we fulfill the Fund My Comic campaign.
Right, because we have to keep that promise that we're not going to open another campaign till this one is finished. I don't want to do. There are some people in crowdfunding who will open 3, 4, 12 different campaigns at once, and then you end up with like stragglers. People from the first campaign didn't get all their stuff yet. Oh, it's coming, but we have to fulfill the second campaign too. So no, we don't want to do that. We want to get everybody clear on every step.
Well, I'm probably going to open up a Kickstarter just after this one goes into book mode or store mode on my comic.
See, I've avoided store mode with most of my stuff only because I don't know. It takes away some of the glamour and like. Then I can't get people to go to my store.
Well, I'm only going to do it.
Kickstarter.
What's that?
I've always been wanting to visit Bali, and I don't see any reason why I should have to pay for that.
Well, so what you do is you promise something that sounds exceedingly awesome, and then you take the money and run, according to the criminal way of doing things, which apparently isn't really all that criminal because of the way that the terms are set up. It's a unethical thing to do, but for some reason you're investing in a company, not necessarily a sale. Am I describing that right, guys? You know how they?
Yeah, somewhat. And actually, this sort of discussion reminds me. I put a poll on Twitter a few days ago, 5 days ago, and it's like, when supporting a comic through crowdfunding, which platform do you like to use? And I gave them 4 choices: Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Fund My Comic, or Doesn't Matter to Me. Which one of those do you think is the highest?
Kickstarter.
Of the actual ones, Doesn't Matter to Me is actually higher than Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's Fund My Comic, and then it's Indiegogo. Indiegogo is down to 4.3.
Wow.
Well, Indiegogo, especially in our circle, it's almost like the CG choice,
Yeah. This has 47 votes. No, I'd like to get it a lot more than that because I'd like to a lot more people, a lot bigger thing, Kickstarter is at 31.9. Fun My Comic is 27.7, and Doesn't Matter to Me is 36.2.
That's
So
what I would have thought would have been the most common choice. Doesn't matter to me, because I mean,
Well,
the person. I mean, the person giving the money just wants to give the money, wants to donate the money, right? So what does it matter
they want the book,
what
yeah.
avenue that goes through to them? I mean,
but there are people that like certain platforms for various reasons. Like one of the comments on it was, and this was one of the first comments, was I voted Kickstarter. Oh, not that one.
Yeah.
There appears to be makes everything super easy. The money isn't taken out of your account until the campaign is over, making it easier to get your money back for whatever reason. No on demand, meaning no waiting 5 years for your books. The survey you get helps. I had to respond to, yeah, I like that. The only thing is if you forget and the money isn't there, but yeah, get you using Kickstarter for that reason. And then he says, plus, if you don't get the comic, the creator is not allowed back on the platform. Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, that is definitely good.
Well,
No,
I can
take
tell you,
the money and run.
we did our first few crowdfundings on Kickstarter. They went well, and then we tried Indiegogo, and it went okay. We've done Fund My Comic, and it went really well for Fund My Comic. It's a much smaller service, but we've only failed one campaign. That was Man Guy, and that's okay. That was a learning experience too.
Yeah.
True.
And one other person said, I voted Kickstarter, but my real preference is anything that isn't Indiegogo.
Yeah, well, and I know Randy's right in general, but there are the politics of the indie comics, and the circle is rather small. It used to be huge. Now it's definitely under 10,000 people, and it's like very political with some people. They won't go to Kickstarter because an artist has said you shouldn't, or they won't do anything but Indiegogo because another one has said that's the best place to go. And then you have people, that don't really care, but they suffer penalties. Like if you go to Kickstarter, there are certain artists who won't promote you unless you are of a certain royalty. And I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm surprised Tim hasn't jumped in. But like there are certain pros in the thing that can do anything they want, and nobody says anything. But if
What?
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so do I.
Don't get me started on that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just don't understand how they just make excuses for him. I don't get it.
Not
He
that
can-
you know,
he
like,
can
I
murder-
don't really
he
care
can
which
mur-
platform anybody
He could
crowdfunds on.
he could murder someone on camera and they'd still applaud him.
Oh yeah, they would find a way to make it a joke. It was just for joke. It wasn't serious. It was an accident.
Yeah. She slipped on my knife.
Uh-huh. God, that's
You were
horrible.
saying, you're saying Rick? Sorry.
Rick.
Oh, what could I say? I forget.
Well, that's not funny. I thought you had a good joke there.
But I just figured, I'm about to go on Kickstarter, again. But it's interesting how Indiegogo was once very high on, people's mind in this comic sphere, especially a certain group. And now it didn't even get double digits.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not in favor. The thing is, and for me, this is the biggest problem, and I've expressed it. They know how I and thousands of people feel. If I order a book and it's promised in a certain time period, for instance, we're in a late period, but we're only a couple of months late. People kind of know what's going on. We know everybody who bought the book generally. But like when it goes years and other campaigns are opened and you're still waiting on your campaign, and Indiegogo is aware of these late programs and they allow it to go on. it does hurt them whether they like it or not. I am hesitant to back anybody on Indiegogo because I know that the creator knows there's no consequences if they don't make it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and take the money.
Well,
Right.
they can take the money. They take the money all the time.
Well, there are two different types of crowdfunding on there. There's, one where you get the money and the one you don't, depending on whether you succeed.
How you
You
set
can
it
go
up.
on. Yeah.
Well, that's
Now,
the
if you
difference.
set it up where you can get the money no matter
Rick,
what.
Rick, let me ask you then. If you said there's two types of crowdfunding, one where the person receiving the crowdfunding has access to the money even if no product goes out, and one
Right.
where the money doesn't
No.
go to the creator. But then if
No,
it doesn't go to the creator, where does that money go?
No,
it could,
the first one isn't that he gets the money if no product goes out. It's he gets the money if he doesn't make the funding goal. So let's say I want to sell you a widget, okay? And you like this widget, and I tell you you back it for $500, and if I get to a total of $100,000, I'm going to have them made and send them to you guys within a 6-month period. But if I do it so that I get the money anyways, I'm going to get it no matter what. So if I only
whether you make the $100,000 or not.
right, so if I only raise 75,000, I get it anyways, and I can kind of tell you guys, okay, I'm still going to get a batch made. You're still going to get yours. It's going to take a little longer, and then I go to Aruba and never see you guys again.
Right.
Or I can make the 100,000, right, and maybe go a little over, and then disappear and go to Aruba and never see you guys again. Or I can make the product and deliver it, and that's the danger. That's the danger of crowdfunding.
But yeah, but also with the one where you set your funding goal and you say you don't get the money unless you make your funding goal, you don't get any money.
Right.
Right.
So what does happen?
So you could make 75,000. Say you're not going to only if you get your funding goal. That
Right.
you're
So
gonna
if your goal was 100
$75,000.
grand, if your goal was 100 grand and you only made 75, and then you can't get that money, what then happens to the 75?
It goes back to all the backers.
Yeah, it goes back to you.
Refund it to whoever donated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And there are people who will tell you that the reason many of the, I'll just say the group, many of the Comicscape people won't use them is because they're habitually late and they don't like to refund. And the way the system is set up, it makes it very difficult for them to take advantage of backers, where IGG makes it a little easier because after you do your campaign, you can leave it open and in demand. And there are creators who have gone into the millions of dollars in sales doing that. So they'll leave something in demand for 3 years. And meanwhile, the guys who backed in the first place that were promised their books in 6 months have now waited 3 years, and they're still waiting because, the guy's making millions on the in-demand side of it. So it's almost like designed to kind of hurt the people who first get in. Like, I know there are books out there where people have died after waiting, forgive me for laughing, but double-digit months. They died before the campaign was fulfilled, even though it was supposed to be fulfilled before they actually died. That's bad, man. That's bad customer service.
Right. It shouldn't be allowed. Bottom line, it shouldn't be allowed.
I think there's only one campaign that I backed that I didn't get the product, although it fulfilled. Although there was a good reason for that. The one creator that was in charge of the GoFundMe account, he died.
Yeah.
And that was James Hudnall with my buddy Matt Cosson. They were doing a book together, and James Hudnall died.
Yeah.
And he was in charge of the GoFundMe, not the GoFundMe, the Indiegogo.
Yeah.
So Matt couldn't get a hold of any of the money or whatever, and Indiegogo were a-holes and didn't refund anybody the money.
Much less than helpful, right? And that kind of ties the knot on why I'm not, high on IGG. Now, that's not to say if John Byrne was to put out a Kickstarter or put out a campaign only on Indiegogo, I'd be eating my words and doing it. But otherwise, I'm not going there for anything anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if I put out one on Indiegogo, you'd probably go back mine, but you
Right.
know me, you know I'm going to deliver.
Okay,
Unless
so
you know it's somebody that you know and will deliver, you're not.
hypothetically, I would for you, Rick. But no, I
Pardon?
do like I would for you, but hypothetically, I would for you, because I know that you'd also put it on Fund My Comic because you're cool like that, and that's where I would pick it up. The choice being given, I do like Fund My Comic much more than the other two for obvious reasons because it's run by a pastor, which I know pastors can be the worst people on earth, but it kind of gives me a good feel that the guy is like at least professing
Or was a
Christ.
pastor. I don't think he's a pastor anymore.
You know what, Rick? Once a pastor, always a pastor. Even if you don't want to be, you end up being. And I only say that from experience because those few years that I was kind of pastoring on the street, it sticks with you. And like you meet people all the time where you're like, okay, I guess I'm semi-retired. All right, let's talk, buddy. And before you know it, you're spouting off some truth, and it's whatever
Yeah,
God.
but
wants you
I
to
think
say.
that's just being. Well,
Of
hopefully.
course you do, but that's because you've been to like weird churches and stuff.
Weird. What?
Yeah, I've been to churches where
Nice.
like if they don't get a specific calling, they are not witnessing, they are not doing their good deed. They're like,
Oh yeah, like I've met Christians like that, but like as Christians we're called to do that too. Just
Right. Right.
well, it's
I know what
really,
he's saying.
I think the thing about pastoring and being a Christian is the same thing in the sense that if you're spirit led, you're going to do stuff you never planned on doing all the time.
Right.
Diana and I recently had a chance to meet a young Muslim lady, and it was fun because there was no judgment. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to make her at ease because I could feel her tension, just not because of us, but because of the whole environment. Like you're there in a hababi beeb, whatever they call those things.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. And she's not covered face, but she's covered enough so that I know exactly what's going on in her life. And I could tell that she was worried because everybody must look at her funny, and I'm like, I'm cracking jokes. I'm talking to her about all sorts of stuff. And Diana's looking at me like, are you crazy? But she started smiling and giggling. And, when we left, I waved at her and she was way across the office and she waved at me and Diana didn't see it. But it was
well, I don't think a lot of people care, just as long as you don't bother them and you don't try and enforce whatever your life values on them. For somebody.
I think that's the value of the spirit, though, because I fully expect either God's going to tie me back with that girl so I can talk to her about that, or it's a sign to her somewhere that she can at least relax. People aren't going to kill you just because you have I'm going to call it a headscarf, a habib, a hajib,
a job.
Yeah, good job.
And job.
H-A-G or H-A-J-A-B. Hijab.
You're laughing at a job. Job.
So I think about like punching a funny bone. A job. But it's not jab, it's job. Like sob.
Right.
Yeah.
I spelled it wrong. It's actually H-I-J-A-B.
Oh. I am learning tonight. Hey, Diana, are you typing?
I am.
Awesome. I love it when you type.
I know, but you guys were talking, and I didn't want to
interrupt.
Yeah, because I'm tired. I have to go to bed. Guys, I'm normally in bed these days at like 8:45. This is like a Friday night, and I got to get up and work
She
tomorrow.
really pulled the wheel today. She did so good.
It's been a long day. So don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what I was typing. I'm sorry I was typing, but you guys had a good roll going on. And have a great week. We'll see you next week. We have another show, not this coming Saturday. Oh, happy Labor Day, everybody. And it's the following Saturday. We are going to be at a place in Tiverton, Rhode Island, at the Retro Expo. So we'll do
So who's going with you to this time?
You and Michael are coming.
Oh, Mike's coming?
I might be getting into there's some I think fairs coming up in here in Idaho, and somebody might be able to get me into those.
Oh, awesome.
Well, that's great.
Awesome. All right. So
I don't know if Outcast is saying goodnight to you or if he's saying
I
goodnight.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
putting him in the
I
chat.
don't know.
Good night, Outcast.
And
Good
Diana.
night, everybody. Yeah.
we love you.
Yes.
There, I removed her. So now she can just go to bed. I just removed her.
Okay.
I didn't even give her a chance to say goodnight.
Somebody in the doghouse now.
Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, what I was going to say, my take on, because we were talking about, spirituality, belief systems. Here's personally, I'm an atheist. But, what's that?
I said, oh.
So, I mean, but that's not to say, and the reason I say I'm an atheist, not an agnostic, is even though I'm not sure, I'm pretty damn sure that I'm right. But that doesn't mean that I absolutely am. I could be completely wrong. It could be everybody else who has faith of some sort who is right. But my whole thing is, I see a clear difference between just belief in a higher being, an all-powerful being, whatever, spirituality, faith, call it what you will. There's a difference between that, I think, and an organized religion. That's where the problems start. When there's too much orthodoxy and too much man-made doctrine, then it almost becomes oppressive. And that's where you see things fall through the cracks, like Catholic priests diddling children and so forth, right? So
yeah,
well, that's a strictly Catholic
relationship with whatever God you choose to believe in is perfectly fine, and it's certainly it is your right under the First Amendment in this beautiful country, right? So I'm not one to dictate to others what they should or should not believe. So I kind of have a problem when someone that's why I don't usually say I'm an atheist, because there's always going to be someone in the crowd who's going to feel a burning desire to convince you how wrong you are. And I just don't want to have that conversation. I get sick of that conversation in about 3.7 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because my point of view is, I'm respecting your right to believe whatever you want. Why can't you respect mine to not
exactly
believe, right?
Right. And that's fine. I think from on the other side though is like, if you're just expressing openly, like on social media or something, your belief, there's somebody who's an atheist that will jump on your thread and tell you how you're wrong for doing that.
Oh yeah, no, I never do that. I don't ever do that.
Yeah.
We're not saying. I don't think.
Listen, my mom and my stepdad are uber Christians, and so is my son, his wife, and all 4 of his children. So, you know what I mean? I'm kind of in that layer in the middle. I'm like Christian sandwich, basically. I'm the cheese in the Christian sandwich.
I get you.
The organized religion exists because there are people who need it in order to maintain their faith. And I don't mean that in a belittling way, but there are some people who actually need the structure to have a relationship with God.
Some people grow up with it. And
well, also, I think it's there more just to get some things done. Like, especially if you say you look at the early church, right? To feed, make sure the widows and the orphans got fed, to make sure the money's going where it is. Yet, has it been corrupted in the last 2,000 years? Yes.
Well, it depends who you're talking about. I mean, like, Catholicism is like Romified Christianity because it came out of the ashes of the Roman Empire.
Oh,
but on the other side, you had the Orthodox that kind of viewed the Catholics as too decadent. Look at them with their fancy robes.
Here's a fun fact. Like, think about this. And these are absolute verifiable facts. If you look at all of the wars in history, right, and you look at, like, not all wars are religious based, and not all religious killings are committed during a war, right?
Right.
There were more people killed throughout history for differences in belief systems. It
It was
And
basically
that were all, if you combine all the wars in human history that weren't specifically about, like the Crusades were holy wars, right?
yeah.
Then the number
That
of
was
people
because of
killed in the name of God, or whatever flavor of God, vastly outweighs the total number of people that were killed in all wars combined, all the other wars combined. Now think about that. That's scary. And that's why I say that organized religion becomes a problem at some point. It always
Or it
does.
can, yeah.
well when you don't have actually the politics we know today is not exactly it was basically a political thing under the guise of religion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely right. And that's why in this country we have separation of church and state. It was specifically because of that reason.
Well, there is a decent analogy though, because religion throughout history seems to have been like a torch, whereas like it has light, but it's giving off all that toxic crap that you made the torch out of.
That's a good analogy.
That is a pretty good analogy. Yeah, I like that analogy.
Very good.
The thing is, though, I gotta agree with you. Like, I almost despise organized religion. The only church and this is in all due respect to my Catholic and Protestant and Lutheran friends and all of the people, because I don't judge. But the only church I like to go to,
like you said, you were brought up with it, like Tim was saying earlier.
It's a new misfit that other
indoctrination. It really is. It's a form of brainwashing.
But the church I prefer to go to, most Christians would be like, "That's insane. Why are you going there?" And the guy that I like to attend his services is like, he's a Jewish Christian, and he calls himself Messianic.
That's thundering silence. That's an oxymoron.
Oh, but it's
actually no, it's not, because Christianity came out of Judaism.
That's true. That is also true.
Well, right. The only real difference between Judaism and Christianity is they don't believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God.
We believe the Jewish Messiah has come. They do not believe he has come.
They're still waiting for, I don't know who they call their savior, but they're still
Yahweh, right?
No, that's
Yahweh would be
Yahweh God.
Would be God, and then they would be waiting. Basically, his name would be Joshua, which is Joshua in English, but because of Latin, it became Jesus, which is a whole nother story. But no, the reason I really love this guy is because, like, it's like he's. If you listen to him talk about Jesus, he talks about him from a very Jewish perspective, which opens up the Gospels in a whole new way. And for me, maybe not for you, Randy, but for me, it's a key opening, right? So, like, when you say you're atheist, you have to remember I'm an optimistic kind of guy, and I'm like, you know what? There's a long way before the Great Reaper comes for you. There's time. You could change your mind. I may not be able to change it, but
like my mom. My mom has been telling me for probably 30 plus years at least that it's okay. You'll come around. You'll come around. It only has to be until the last second before you take your last breath. And you can give yourself to Jesus, and everything will be fine. Okay, well, great. And you know, well, then find out all the time in the world. Why are you bugging me all the time?
Yeah, I know, but listen to Rick.
Because she cares.
Rick,
well, first of all, I know what you're thinking. I was thinking the same thing. First of all, some people tell you you're an atheist. Some people have to realize there's a time and a place to start the witnessing. And
I will say this: being a combat veteran, there is no such thing as an atheist in a fucking foxhole when bullets are flying. They're just
that's a good one.
I pray because again, I might be wrong, so I got to cover my bases.
Well, it's the same with like a plane crashing.
Now, as to what Chris was referring to, my dad just recently died, just over a month ago, and he was an atheist pretty much all his life. He didn't really like organized religion either, and in the last month, he really was changing his mind. He got cancer again about in the middle of
what's wrong
or found out that he had cancer again in the middle of April, and he signed up for the government assisted suicide here in Canada because of that. Because he was like, if it gets to a point where I can't wipe my butt and all that, you know, feed myself, I don't want to go on. So just shortly after my birthday, he, I wouldn't say he couldn't wipe his butt, but it was very getting hard for him to, I think, breathe and stuff like that. He wasn't in a lot of pain.
Just in day to day. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. You know, he could move around, but it was hard for him to get up or whatever, you know. So he ended up setting up the date and all that. There was a lot more to it. But, and I said to him the exact same thing. I went up to his place a couple days before he died. And I told him the exact same thing your mom told you, or I think your mom or your grandma, you said about, you know, with your last breath, all you have to do is say, Jesus, forgive me.
Yeah, that was my mom.
And he said, to my surprise, I'll try. And I talked, and then I went home because he's like a 3-hour drive away from me. And I went up with my aunt and uncle, his brother and sister-in-law. And like I said, I called him over the next couple days. You know, we chatted about this, that, whatever. And then I called him the day of, you know. And my boss is a Christian too, and I was telling him about that, the first part of this. And he said to pray for him. And so, you know, like I said, yeah. So I asked my dad when we were on the phone on this last day, can I pray for you? I think he thought when I asked whether he meant anytime, and I said, no, Dad, right here, right now. And he said, yes, I prayed for him. He ended up interrupting me. I ended up telling him just before the conversation was about to end. Again, you know, with your last breath, all you have to do is say, Jesus, forgive me. And he did. I no sooner got the words out, and he said them.
Yeah.
And a few hours later, they came and did the government assisted suicide stuff.
You know what's kind of funny? I just realized this too. So Randy says there's no atheist in the foxhole, and your father was kind of like in that same predicament. He's in the foxhole, and
Yeah.
you know,
He had said to one, according to my Uncle Charlie, he had said to one of his cousins, so a second cousin of mine, I think, or something like that, that he never believed in God all his life, but he was wishing there was one. And he said that like within the last month of or couple weeks of his life.
well, you know what makes me believe, and you guys all laughed when I was talking about it with the tech praying, but it's the stupid things like that that I can't explain. And instead of
Yeah.
being like insistent on knowing, I just give it to God. Like so, like when you guys, well, not you guys, Randy, when you you don't have any evidence of him, that's where I'm finding evidence, like the stupid stuff that could be explained away if somebody could figure out why.
It's funny. It's funny you said I have no evidence of him, because I said that exact same thing to my mom. Like, one of my points is I can't see him, touch him. I've never spoken to him. Other than if you say, well, okay, I spoke to God in my mind and I feel that God answered me, then okay, fine for you. But I'm saying I need the man to come down, change an apple into a Cadillac right in front of me, and then I'll shake his hand and bow down and say, Lord, where have you been all my life?
Yeah, that would work.
But that's for me. I'm just a seeing is believing kind of guy. That's a
yep.
Yeah. I get that. A lot of people are like that.
That would be weird, but I did go through a thing where I believe I saw because I asked something incredibly like possible and it happened. And then I had like the touch for like a week. And then like it life just turned into like, oh God, this is gonna sound cheesy, but it was one blessing after another. Like, you know, when I met Diana, I was a single dad. And I was doing okay, but I wasn't raising, you know, my kid the best way, meaning he wasn't learning family. He didn't have any connection. My ex-wife and I had totally disconnected, and he was with me. And Diana came along, and it was almost like a mini Brady Bunch. And it was funny, but it was all connected because she came along because I was preaching the word online, being a dick about God, because that's what I was at the time. You know, I was in that evangelical stage because I went through all the stages. I went to all the churches that I could. Not that I joined all of them, but like I've been to a Catholic church. I did Seventh Day Adventist. I visited the Jehovah Witnesses. I
You were
visited
shopping around for a system that worked for you. I get it.
right, and I had a major problem because with my autism / Asperger's, whatever they call it, I was very examining, judgmental, whatever. And it wasn't until I met Rabbi Peter, that's the guy I've been talking about, that I just felt like, oh, this is it. There's no, you know, I didn't have any issues with anything he said, but it was because he's just different. He's just different. And he breaks down things where there is no hate, there's nothing but like a desire to hear more. Like he's good at that, right? And he doesn't teach like, okay, turn your Bibles to John 4, verse 15. He literally just starts espousing stories from the Bible, but he does it in a way that, you know, okay, I'm done. I'm starting to get preachy. You lose interest in 3
Well,
seconds.
it's funny that you said you mentioned Lutheranism. My grandma was Presbyterian, but there was a Lutheran church at the bottom of the hill from where we lived because we lived up the hill on North Shore Road in Belfair. And so, you know, wherever grandpa went, grandpa went, you went. So
I did that for a little bit.
I'd spend like the Saturday night with grandma, grandpa, and then we'd go to church. And so I grew up kind of going to a Lutheran church.
Going to church, I don't know where you guys did, but like Sunday school was the funniest load of.
Do you have cotton balls in your mouth? What did you just say?
It was a load of. I can't finish the words because it's almost blasphemous. But Sunday school church was. I'm sorry, guys. It was the worst. I'm sorry. I know they tried, but there were coloring sheets and.
I grew up with that the kids
out of serious Bible stories, and I know that's a good thing in a way, but
and then we got the youth group, and I got a funny story about youth group. So, we went to like a Christian camp or something for like a few days, and this one kid in our group was really into Xena, Warrior Princess, and he could do the battle cry. So we had that, yes. And so we would have it. We'd have him. Okay, go in the room and do that right there because there's a bunch of people in there. And yeah, we did that the whole trip. And then I think we got in real big trouble when, on the way back, they decided to go through a drive-through at some like burger and fry place somewhere, and we had them do it into the intercom.
Yeah, you guys are punished.
Yeah, so they made the order, they paid for it, they got the food, and then they pulled out to the parking lot, parked and had us all get out, and then we got lectured about it. It was so great.
That was cheesy.
You know what, though? As stern-faced as they might have been in giving you the word, right, giving you the talking to,
yeah,
you know damn well that at least a couple of them thought it was funny too.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't say it, they couldn't show it, but deep down they knew damn well that was a funny prank.
Oh yeah, we were. I remember that trip clearly. They were going on the way there. Somebody had like a Descendants CD, and it was called Everything. The album was called Everything Sucks, and I had a CD Walkman, so I was listening on the way. Well, I was going to punk shows too. I was kind of, if you lived in the Northwest, you knew somebody. You knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew a bunch of bands, and
you were a church member that needed prayer and discipline. They wanted you to hang out with Deacon Dave, but you were busy.
We didn't have deacons.
I don't know. I'm making it up.
I once asked my son. This is kind of an interesting story. You guys probably appreciate this, especially since we're on the topic. I asked him, my ex-wife Amy and I mean, obviously me being an atheist, she, I believe, had some faith in God, but never was like a religious person. Never went to church. Never really. I never saw her pray or any of that. But she at least had a belief in some sort of higher being, right? But never really would like preach that to people or whatever. Just kind of kept it to herself. So in that, me being an atheist and her feeling somewhat about religion, kind of cool about it, obviously our son was not raised with any sort of strong religious belief or spiritual belief. And so I asked him one time, when he's an adult now and married and had 2 kids. And I asked him, like, how did this even come to be? How did you find your way to a belief in God, given, what I just explained to you about his mom and I? And he said that, he asked me, do you remember, Dad, when I told you I was working as a lifeguard at a public pool in Beaufort? And I said, yeah. So that means he's got to be at least 16, because the Red Cross won't certify you as a lifeguard unless you're at least 16. So he's at least 16 or 17, because he hasn't graduated high school yet. And he's working as a lifeguard at this pool. And there was a younger child, not like 6 or 7, but maybe 10 or 11, who found himself in some distress. So he had to jump in the pool and do the lifeguard thing, right? And so he swam up to the kid, grabbed him by the chin, carry. I was a lifeguard too, so I know all this stuff. And then kind of swam backstroke while holding on to him by the chin, right? Supporting him on his body, on his chest. And when he got to the edge of the pool, as he was going to lift the kid out of the pool with some help from someone on the deck of the pool, but somehow he cracked his head on the rim of the pool hard enough that it knocked him out a little bit. And he sunk down to the pool, and then himself had to be rescued by the other lifeguards. And he said that in that moment, because like time dilation and stuff, you can't be sure how long has passed, but it seems like a long time, right? He said that he had like one of those, I guess you would describe it as an out-of-body experience, where, he saw like the light and heard a voice, and a disembodied voice that told him it wasn't time yet, and such. And then the next thing he remembers is waking up as they perform CPR on him and puking up the blood the water that he had swallowed, right? And he said that was his like epiphany. That was his paradigm shift. And ever since then, he's been a very, very spiritual man. And I guess that led to him finding one of the coolest churches I ever attended, honestly. It was all about music and stuff. It really felt like a Southern Baptist black church, because those are a lot of fun. Those churches are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They really are, man. Even as somebody who doesn't believe in any of the things that they're worshiping, it's just still a fun experience. It really is.
I had a good experience at a.
So wait, hold on. Let me finish. This is almost at the end of the story. So he's at this very musical church with a pastor who's like very, very down to earth, low key, just a really chill guy for a religious person, a religious man, and leading a congregation. I thought he was one of the most chill pastors I'd ever met. Anyway, he's working as a volunteer at the church to set up tables, I think, for bingo this particular day. So it's him and about 5 or 6 other guys setting up these tables. And this young lady named Chelsea walks in, who's new to Beaufort. Her family just moved in, and she's looking for a place of worship that suits her, right? So she came into the church, this particular church, just to, I guess, get a feel for the vibe and what they're about, right? So she happens to see all these guys setting up tables after she talks to the pastor. And on her way out, of all these guys, she picks Harley out of the bunch and says, "Excuse me, I'm new to the area, and I'm just wondering like what there is to do here for fun. I'm not into bars, blah, 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 all that, but what is there to do for low-key fun?" And he said, "You know what? I'm almost done here. If you like, I'd be more than happy to give you a tour of Beaufort, South Carolina." And she goes, "You know what? Well, I'll help you out. You'll get done that much quicker." And I thought, Jesus Christ, this is Christian Riz. Oh my God. And so,
Yeah, I've never had anything like that happen. Jeez, I like that.
the moral of the story is that now 7 or 8 or 9 years later, whatever it is, they have 4 beautiful children, my 4 grandbabies that are, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, and I even said to him, I asked him, I said, are you gonna, like, this is when they had just the first one, Carolina. I said, are you gonna teach your kids to, like, actively teach them about God and about religion and spirituality, or are you just gonna, like, let them form their own opinion? He's like, no, we're gonna teach them, you know, we're gonna just blah, blah, raise them right and blah, blah. And I said, okay, so you're going the indoctrination route. No problem, Manchurian candidate, I get you. Your kids, though, I can't say nothing about it.
You know what? It's funny because my mom sent me off to get indoctrinated for like the first 10 years of my life. I did the grandparent thing like Tim was talking, but it was with an aunt. And my aunt consistently made sure that the church bus came and picked us all up, and we all went to the same church. And well, when I say we all, I meant her kids and my mom's kids. My mom didn't go, and her husband didn't go, but we piled into a church bus. A yellow bus came up, and every Sunday we were committed to these. It was
So
a
your
day-long event.
Your parents were like, rules for thee, but not for me.
No, my parents were like, here you go, sister. Take these with you. You can get more stuff. And not really more. We didn't get more stuff, but like we got stuff. Like we would go and there were always the morning snacks, and then there'd be like a lunch, and you know, you come home about 3, and you know, mom had all day to just, you know, chill. And it was nice.
Well, mine was a little different.
You all go get godified, and I'm going to sit here and chill with you fuckers out of my hair.
Mine was a little different in that, you know, I chose to go with grandma. And then I kind of liked the church that I was going to because, you know, still being heavily picked on. There was nobody trying to trip me as I was walking around at church, and nobody was trying to chase me down the hallways. So it was kind of it was a sanctuary, and plus Lutherans throw on a really good potluck.
Well, I liked the churches when I was young,
Yeah.
but like the thing about it was it melted down in my teens, and I thought I was atheist for like a decade there. In my heavy metal years, I was like, there ain't nothing. And then I went through almost like a black magic era where I was hanging around people who thought they were witches, and you know, it was scary stuff, which scared me enough to go back to my aunt and beg for prayer and help me get rid of these dark demons that were chasing me. Still didn't learn my lesson.
How come they only thought they were witches, but you know there's a God?
Well,
you see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
They might have been.
Oh, jeez.
No, but what it comes down to is, if they were real witches, they didn't, you know, well, they couldn't touch me. Maybe it's because of God, but in the end, everything worked out. I had, you know, 4 or 5 years that were kind of dark with them, and then it just cleared up when I turned to my aunt to help me pray, and then I screwed up again and ignored God again, and things didn't go that dark that way, but I did still stumble and fall, and
we all do that, man.
Until my son was born, and then I started getting a little more serious. And when he was like 6 or 7, I think he got some indoctrination at elementary school, probably from fellow students, about who this Jesus was that died on Christmas Eve and what was going on. And I had to like start answering his questions, which kind of led me into, you know, reading the Bible so I could explain to him why he was, you know, the questions he was asking. And next thing you knew, I was like, you know what? Kind of starting to believe this. And then something else happened, and I had one of those ask God for something crazy, and then when it happened, it changed everything. And okay, so I'm going to tell you just because now we're here, and if I don't tell you now, I'll have to tell you another time anyways, because it'll be like a question that lingers. But the kids, I was living in a house with 4 different kids, including my son and my nephews, and they came to me crying with a kitten that had died, and they couldn't get it to breathe. It just died moments earlier, like within minutes.
Oh,
They wanted me to take care of it one way or another. So I brought it over to the sink. I tried to like fluff its lungs. I put water in its face. Nothing, 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 right? Okay. So I go outside. I grab a shovel and I'm holding it in one hand and the shovel in the other. And that's how small this kitten was. I could hold it in a hand. And I said, okay, so this is where it gets weird. I said, God, if you can heal this cat, I'm just asking, because those boys were all inside sobbing because they knew I was going to bury him. He's dead.
Did you say that out loud or just in your head? I'm just curious.
I said it out loud. I always say it out loud when I really need it. That's why I talk to bees and stuff. But
okay.
but I said it out loud, and I felt the Holy Spirit hit. My eyes were closed, and I felt the light like on my face, but there wasn't light, but I could feel it as if there was. And the cat, I swear, came back to life. And I was like, literally, oh shit. Like, oh my God.
That cat
really worked
7 states away, because I've seen Pet Cemetery, bro. I would have took that to China.
That cat grew up and was beautiful. I'm telling you, man. God was like,
I don't know if I should tell you.
Kids missing around town unexpectedly, unexplained.
That's why
I don't.
That's why I
man.
started church hopping. That's why I was looking for a church, because I was like,
Was the cat's name? Was the kitten's name Gabe?
No, it was
Okay,
one of those.
all right. Well, maybe then it wasn't a Pet Cemetery.
I don't know if I should tell you a story like that, but it was because it was pretty heavy. I was going to. This is in middle school again, mind you. I was going to slit my wrists because kids would pick on me so bad, and it was a windy day. And before and there was a knife blade with no handle, and it was in the kitchen, and I was at home by myself, and I had been horribly picked on. So I took the knife, went into the woods because we lived near a gully, and it was windy, and all of a sudden, all these images of what would happen if I did it. It hit me, kind of went through my head, and then the wind stopped. And then I decided to go back in the house, and the wind picked up again. It was the weirdest feeling ever. And I kind of thought that was God talking to me. I don't know.
There you go. I'm like, okay, so did you stab
Hey,
yourself?
listen, nobody can absolutely dispute that wasn't God, but nobody can prove it wasn't God.
Well, that's the coolest thing, though. Like,
it's all about if that's a thought and a belief that comforts you, then does it matter what anybody else thinks?
No,
but here's the
Really,
thing: like,
it was significant.
It doesn't matter at all. Anybody else?
It was significant enough that I remember it to this day.
But Randy,
Exactly.
like your mom, I'm gonna embrace the fact that I believe you are gonna have one of those moments sometime in the future, and you will go, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I meant," even though it's not what you said. I know you said come down and turn a tomato into a Cadillac or something like that, but it's gonna be something where you're gonna be like, I don't know what it is, Randy, but something's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, all right, dude, show me. And he's going to show you, and you're going to be like, "Oh shit!"
God's gonna have his sense of humor moment and there's a Cadillac driving up, pulling
like
a
Genie.
thing of tomatoes.
Okay, you get 3 prayers. No, he's going to surprise you, and when you least expect it, and you're going to know, you're going to be like, "Son of a bitch."
Well, listen, I've always been raised to be man enough to admit when I'm wrong. So if that ever does happen, big if that ever does happen, you will be the second person I call to say so behind my mom.
Well, you want to know what's funny? You won't have to think like that because you're going to be telling everybody if it happens, because that's what happens when it happens. That's when you become the evangelical freak for
believe me, I know. Listen, it's the same thing as somebody who's been an alcoholic for a long period of time and they finally get sober.
Yep.
They're the biggest, preachiest motherfuckers on the planet. It's the same thing with someone who just got saved. They want to tell everybody. You know what I mean?
It's kind of different.
I get that. But what they don't get is how annoying that can be.
Yeah,
they don't.
It's kind of different when people grow up going to church. It's kind of like they would look at somebody who just got saved. They're telling everybody, like, "Dude, quit being a spaz, all right?"
Yeah, exactly.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually
Well-
when I came to Christ, I think I might have been in my 30s. And I went berserk. I made a website called happyjesusday.com and started writing articles about how different churches were wrong.
Sounds like something from that you would see on South Park. I swear to God.
Literally,
that-
did, dude. I was going on,
Say it again. Wait, say it again. What was it called?
happyjesusday.com. I let the
Happy-
domain go and someone bought it instantly. It was a pretty it was like in the top 1,000 for religious Christian domains.
Wow.
Happyjesusday.com. We
Oh
had
my God.
first
Oh my God.
I'm sure God appreciated it, though.
That's where Diana met me. That's where Diana met me. We both used to do AOL.
Is it still around, or do you know?
Somebody it's not mine anymore, but if you go on the way back, I think you can see stuff. But that's where Diana met me because we were both using AOL, not together, but like I got sick of AOL because it was all like, well, it was sexualized. So I found a Java chat system
AOL
that I could put on.
America Online?
What's that? Yeah. So I put up a Java chat and she
I was
came
on
in.
that like a million years ago.
Yeah.
I still know a guy, just a real funny aside, I still know a guy who still has somehow an active, he doesn't go on AOL the service because I don't think that exists anymore, but he still has an active AOL email account.
Well, they have something like, yeah, and there is a paid version. I don't think it's like the old one where you dial into it or whatever, but I think it's just a subscription.
Well, it's just like they're still on MySpace, but it ain't the MySpace that everybody remembers.
I'm not on MySpace. They deleted my account, so I didn't make a new one.
I'm sure they deleted
Well-
mine too, but it's just like it's unusable.
I haven't even logged into MySpace in probably 15 years at least. I guess I still have an account.
Happy Jesus Day still exists, but it's an org now.
No,
Oh,
mine was
wow. That's an
so whoever
organization.
has the .com bought it and kept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
You know what
typed in
I thought was
.com
weird about
and
that?
it took me to .org.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey.
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 Hello. Is
You say
anybody out
hello,
there?
I don't say goodbye.
Does not if you can hear me.
It's like an FM radio on two different channels. Two different songs.
Boom, 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 boom.
There is no pain you are receiving.
Okay, Randy, you're gonna talk?
What just happened there? Everything just locked up for about 30 seconds.
I don't know.
I don't know. We were good. We were singing while you were gone.
Now, here's the thing. I don't understand when you guys keep saying doctrination, because I went to a Lutheran church and I was accepted by people and I had a good time doing it. And so when people talk about church, I don't have any like negative feelings about it.
I liked it when I was young. It was when I started.
Well,
it was you want to know the truth. You guys might laugh, but it was when I found out Santa Claus was fake. When I figured that out, everything else fell apart. Religion fell apart. I didn't trust about the damn tooth fairy anymore. And I was like, why am I going to believe all that crap you say on Sunday? Jesus, all that stuff made no sense to me after Santa Claus proved to be fake. And everybody was complicit. Everybody was part of the big conspiracy. And you guys know it's true because we actually get recruited into it too. But so offended by that. We now know I was autistic as a child as well.
Yeah.
Become autistic. So I took that to heart in a hard way.
Because for me, I like when my mom told me, I was mad for like a second, and then I thought about, oh yeah, how would he fit down the chimney?
I remember thinking, Chris, you know the apartment I lived on, the apartment building I lived in on Howard Street at the top of the hill?
Yeah. I think I do. What about it? We lost him again. I think his computer went down.
It almost sounded like he was going with that joke about from Jeff Dunham about like how is he gonna get into the apartment buildings? Is he gonna have to get buzzed up?
Watch, she's gonna be like, it did it again. I'm not singing this time though. That was weird.
I don't know.
Oh, there he goes. Rick singing.
It's not Christmas, dude. I swear to all.
I don't know, but
Hey, we're
welcome.
talking about Santa Claus, so it makes a difference.
We knew that you went down. We realized it quick. But yeah, so
What
the apartment on Howard Street.
I can't. Oh, this is frustrating. Every time
I
I start
know.
talking, it's out. Every time. It just did it again.
Oh,
We
we
can hear
didn't
you.
hear it go out just now.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was trying to say, this might cut out again, and every time it does, Rick's portion of the screen reloads twice, and before I can start speaking.
Oh, I get what's happening.
Very
Yeah.
weird thing. It's like everything locks
You're
up.
buffering.
The live stream counter stops counting.
You're.
Until
I think you're a little bit in a dead spot a little bit. I think.
Maybe. But anyway, I was trying to say the apartment building on Howard Street. You remember what it looks like? Big brick building, four-sided slope roof, peaked in the top, right? The only chimney, it wasn't even a chimney. The only chimney was a pipe. It was a vent pipe for the heating system for the boiler, right? The gas boiler. How the hell is a big jolly old fat man going to fit down that damn thing? And plus, there's no outlet in the apartment for that pipe. I'm 3 or 4 years old. I told my mom, I'm like, there's no way. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop lying. There's no saying.
Well, there was a joke. Was it Jeff Dunham?
We knew it was away.
I wanted to believe so bad. I reasoned that he would come through the window or something, bro.
What?
I reasoned that he could magically come through windows or walls.
That's what she tried to tell me, and I was like, no, stop it. And fast forward years later, my ex-wife and I and our son are living in our very first house, tiny little place, the first house we bought, and it's kind of the same thing. I mean, there's no fireplace in there, right? So there's no need for a chimney, it's just a vent for heating and stuff, right?
Yep.
And my son says the same thing to her. Where does Santa Claus get in? And she's like, through the chimney. He's like, and he says, look, come here, mom, what chimney? He's taking her all around the house. It's a tiny little house. Took about 20 seconds. And she's like, well, because of his magic Santa Claus powers and blah, 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 some bullshit ensued, right? And he just shaking his head the whole time. He's not contradicting her verbally. He's just shaking his head. No. But he didn't have any problem opening up the presents and playing with them, of course, you know?
Yeah.
Of course not.
But I just thought it was funny that he called her out the same way I called my mom out so many years before, you know?
I don't know. I thought it.
The same arguments, too. It was so funny.
Yeah. I still had fun with that. And even though you grow up and you go, oh, yeah, of course it's BS. Yeah. Because you let your brain process. Okay,
Listen, I was a smart enough young child to understand that. Like a lot of my cousins and stuff and other kids, my friends, might still believe that. So I wasn't raining on their parade. I played along, you know, just to not burst their bubble. They got to figure it out themselves. I figured the same way I did.
Yeah.
Well, and you learn quick if you're the older kid going, I think Santa's fake. Everybody gets cue to you, and then you're not getting the good gifts that year. You're getting dirty looks. It's like, all right, I cleaned up my act. I've seen kids that are like 15 going.
Well, see, I had an active imagination, so I'd be wide awake, and you'd hear movement. It's like, wait, I think I hear him. You're like listening for Santa Claus.
See, I was trying to hunt him down and never caught him. That's what me never catch him back.
I gotta make this point too. Even though I figured out really, really early that Santa Claus was just a story, you know, just a wives' tale, it never stopped me from enjoying like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all those animated shows.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically, Santa Claus and
all that, the Island of Misfit Toys, like all those classics. I still enjoyed them, even though I knew Santa Claus was complete bullshit. It didn't take away from the enjoyment of the myth. It just took away the belief, you know.
Well, technically, Santa Claus is technically real in a sense. He was taken from
a saint.
Yeah, Saint Nicholas.
And then mixed with Father Christmas, which was a pagan origin.
Yeah, so
Actually, the earliest version of Santa Claus, believe it or not, is from Dutch pagans, like just like Tim was saying.
Yeah, the Father Christmas.
Yeah, Father Christmas.
But,
Yep.
but Saint Nicholas,
Krampus or whatever.
That's German. Saint Nicholas, he would help women get married by having them put the fires out at night so he could drop the dowries down the chimney.
Yeah, and the Dutch were the ones that came up with like the evil Santa Claus, Krampus.
Yeah, that's why Santa Claus can't eat before he goes swimming. He'll get a Krampus.
Yeah, exactly. 30 minutes.
It all depends.
That was a dad joke.
I'm not sure when I stopped believing in Santa Claus. I know one of my friends tried to tell me he wasn't real, and I'm like, no. But it was sometime after that. There was no big thing for me, no big confrontation. Well,
there was a Jeff Dunham joke about like apartment buildings and like how'd Santa get in? Would he have to get buzzed up? Think about it. He's a fat man. He's got something for your kids.
Well, that's where the magic comes in. You know, it's just the way it is now because you got to go through walls and windows because urban development and the tales are old. And then when he never shows up in your house and you've got all these gifts with his name on it.
Here's another thing to think about. It's kind of, it's kind of in the Darwin Awards category, but there's more people than you think that have died or had to at least get rescued by the fire department from trying to climb down their own goddamn chimneys to surprise their kids on Christmas. Like,
why would you do
that? It's not a good idea to go inside a chimney unless you're a chimney sweep, like a pro.
Honestly, what they should have done is covered, like just get the stuff, open the fireplace, get the stuff in it, cover your suit a little bit with that, so make it look like you slid down, right? And then then stomp your feet like you landed, right? So when they come out,
and time it so the kids are just coming around the corner, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, come on,
man. That's not as good as coming down the chimney.
But don't ever try to literally climb down the. First of all, that means this idiot had to go through the effort of climbing up on his own goddamn roof. So
and then who wants to slide down 2 stories? You could hurt yourself just sliding and hitting the
You're right. Even if it was big enough for you to fit through, like if it's too big, then it's just the 2-story jump onto your feet,
Well, I'm sure finding out the truth later.
The stork did not bring babies.
There was an old cartoon. Actually, all the cartoons for a while had it where storks were delivering babies, and I kind of remember that.
Classic Pickles, their animated spokesperson was a stork in a mailman's outfit.
Yeah.
But instead of delivering babies, he would carry jars of plastic pickles in the diaper in his bill.
Yeah. Well, Baby Smurf was sprung by a stork.
He got fired for stealing from the company.
Yeah.
The stuff, I always thought there were really magic beans out there. Jack and the Beans. I knew there were magic beans somewhere.
The stork ended up having some pickles up his butt.
Ew.
That's nasty. What kind of pickles were they? Dill?
All you God-loving people, and one of you said that.
Yeah, well, God-loving people are still flawed people.
True, that is true.
And some of us have a sense of humor.
Yeah, but not you. No, no, you do.
That is also true. Not all of you are uptight. Not all of you are uptight. Like you got a stick up your ass.
It was that one time, and it was.
Yeah, just once. It was just once.
Yeah, it hurt like hell. Okay.
Hey, are earpod things by the AirPod things for your Apple devices? Are those really microwaves for your brain?
I don't know.
I know I've heard if you put these on, they fry your brain.
Just another reason why I only use Samsung.
You what?
So just another reason why I only use Droid.
Oh yeah, well, Droid can do it too if you have wireless Bluetooth headphones. That's the theory. It fries your, it creates
Well,
a.
they say that just holding the phone up, like if you're making a regular phone call,
Yeah.
you know, like just holding the phone up to your ear does the same thing. So, is it
Yep.
true? I think they tested that on MythBusters actually and debunked
Don't
that.
fear the Reaper.
Well, so here's something stupid that is kind of funny because I try to live by it. In the Bible, there's a section that talks about how like you can get bit by snakes and drink poison and you'll be fine. And it's real easy for me to make that leap in spiritual reading where I go, I'm sure radiation falls in those lines. You know, it's poison or it's like a snake bite. It's, you know, I can live through this. That's the only way I rationally.
You mean the people that drink strychnine and let snakes bite them?
I don't know. I'm not one of them people. I don't tempt God like that, but I'm like,
That's what I'm saying. That's almost like
Do
playing
you
chicken
speak
with
in
God.
tongues? Do you speak in tongues, Chris?
no, not
Okay,
generally.
thank the Lord for that.
Now, I do believe that exists, but I will tell you that I don't believe it's the. I'm sorry, guys. I don't believe it's the 300 people in a church all at once. There's a time and a place that the scripture talks about tongues.
I always thought that meant like you were speaking a different language that you never spoke before.
It can. And
Yeah.
here's the one thing that's really important.
Yeah, but it's got to be an actual. It's got to be an actual language that you never spoke before.
It can also be
Not
an
just-
angelic language.
Not just like syllables that you're making up.
It might be.
Right.
Here's the thing. If someone is speaking in tongues, there's going to be someone else who can interpret it. And it's going to be something that everybody's going to go, oh, that was God speaking. And that's more rare than we understand, but it's not so rare that it doesn't happen.
Well, I've seen it happen several times.
Yeah, so have I. That's why I'm not quick to just dismiss it. But when you start seeing people like, okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of the churches I shopped, the pastor handed me a little pamphlet, and it was to practice speaking in tongues. And they were literally teaching people to like start using just weird sounds, like you can put together Honda, Toyota, Subaru, you know, and just do it real quick. Honda, Toyota, Subaru. I don't know what. And you start.
You're making stuff up. So he's basically telling you to make stuff up to talk to
Yes,
God.
there are quote
That
unquote.
makes no absolute sense.
Not all of them, but there are pastors out there who will try to teach you to speak in tongues because that's really how they're counting heads. You know, there are churches that will tell you if you don't speak
Speaking in tongues came directly from God, not from
Hallelujah, brother. Hallelujah.
Exactly.
I'll chat you guys later. I gotta go.
Okay, later, Tim.
Later.
God bless you, Tim.
So
Hope
you
he doesn't
see,
turn him off with tongue
that's-
talk.
That's a man teaching another man or a woman to speak in tongues. That's not God speaking through you. That's another person speaking through you.
That's why.
Well, I wouldn't say it's another person speaking through you, but at one point it would be a false tongue, you know, because you're not really speaking in tongues.
Yeah, and that point is called the first second that somebody tries to teach you how to speak in tongues. Because if we believe the premise that tongues come from God, that's God speaking through you, then how can a mortal teach you how to talk in a language that only God can speak?
Yeah, it doesn't.
The only
breaks down. Logic or lack thereof breaks down very quickly.
The only way that they can quote unquote teach you is by trying to encourage you to, you know, give yourself over to God or the Holy Spirit, however you want to say it, to allow you to be able to do it. If that makes any sense.
It doesn't, but I'm going to let
a slight bit more sense, but it's still.
It doesn't add up. That's the problem because, okay, so like God, you know, I love God. If he ever lets me speak in tongues, so be it. But I don't want it to be like something like, I know that if he does that, there's a meaning. Like maybe I'm looking down the barrel of a Chinese gun or something weird where I don't, you know the language.
There are two reasons for tongues too. There is the reason that you said, you know, like somebody says it in the middle of the congregation, and then there's the interpretation, and then there's just for private use, for lack of a better way of saying it, where you're just praying to God and you don't really know what to pray, and God prays through you for whatever, although you don't know what it is.
Well, I've heard people say that's what happens with them, and I can't say it didn't. I just know it hasn't happened with me.
My question for you, Chris, is you were just saying that you hope that one day God would allow you to speak in tongues, right? And that,
Not hope that it allows you.
wait, let me finish because I'm still quoting what you said. You said that you hope that one day God would allow you to speak in tongues, right? And so that you could then pass on his message. But my question is this: if that were to happen and you started speaking in tongues to pass on his message, how are the listeners supposed to get that message if they don't understand the words or the gobbledygook or the syllables or the syllabants or whatever it is that you're spouting? If it's not anything that anybody can understand, then how is the message passed on? That's my question.
There's supposed to be somebody at that point that shortly thereafter that does the interpretation.
So it would only be by the anointing of the Holy Spirit with two different people in the area. But no, what I said was if there was like if I was an interpreter of a Chinaman or something,
UN, we should get one at the UN, just in case.
Get one what at the UN?
An interpreter for God who can interpret speaking of tongues, just in case it ever happens in a world meeting.
But you don't get that option. Like it's not like you can go get a degree in interpretation. It's like
right. That's what I'm saying. So how are people going to understand the message that you or anyone would express?
It may not be for anybody but one person. It might be for two people. It's not like that. It's not necessarily like.
Understand.
It's not like God just sent me a message that I have to deliver to President Trump, and I'm going to like share it in tongues, whatever. No. What I was saying though was if I was like facing someone who was of another language, like I said, a Chinaman, I don't know a bit of Chinese, I would love to speak tongues then and say something in Chinese that's going to save my life. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times when tongues would come in really handy. No, the truth is, and this comes from Rabbi Peter, my personal belief is, if I'm going to convince you about Jesus Christ, I have to act a little bit like him, particularly when we're like around each other and stuff. So like the way I behave with people is the only testimony that matters. Because I can sit here and preach you chapter and verse and it's like boring and who am I arguing with, right? You don't believe anyway. So it's like one of the things I hate is when somebody gets an atheist going and they say, well, the Bible says you have to. That's not teaching them nothing, you know. Jesus was like able to love like the worst of sinners, so like we have to find a way to love everybody. Where we don't
and you're starting from an authority that they don't necessarily recognize.
What do you mean?
If you're quoting the Bible to them, depending on how you're quoting it, you know. But.
Well, yeah, but some people do try to use it like they're like it's the sword of God, it's the word of God, and and I get what they're trying to do, but it's like you're so misguided. Like it's like going to an elementary school and preaching to them about nuclear physics, and I don't mean that in a belittling way, but you can't know what you don't know, so you can't go in and judge people about stuff that's.
Outcast says, I thought in the Bible they spoke in tongues when they were speaking to someone who spoke another language, and the speaker themselves did not speak the language. Sort of like that, when it first occurred in the upper room, they just all started speaking in other tongues, and people outside of the upper room heard them speaking and heard them speaking in their own language and was understanding what they were saying. And some people thought they were drunk, and then Peter got up and said a message to everybody. So that's one
question. This is an interesting theological thing, right? Did they speak in a language that everybody understood in their own language? In other words, a foreign language that everybody just understood but heard as their own somehow divinely, through the divinity of God and the Holy Spirit.
As if there were a universal translator in everybody's ear, is what you're saying.
Right, in a way, right. because there was like they talk in the Bible about how many different nations were there at the time, how many different nationalities, or were the different apostles like were there, like 4 different nations, and so like 4 different apostles speaking 4 different languages, or was it one guy speaking and the 4 guys from different countries going, I understand that in my tongue, and the other guys going, me too, in my tongue, and and
well, from what I get from what Acts says, they were all speaking different languages up in the upper room, and everybody outside heard them speaking there.
That sounds a bit like the Tower of Babel.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it.
Like the myth of the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, the reverse Babel.
reverse Babel. Yeah.
Now, I'll admit, like I speak in tongues. I've gotten that, I'll say, gift. And I've attended quite a few Pentecostal churches in my life for a number of years, so I know a little bit. So,
well, that's why I'm saying not all churches hand out pamphlets. And it's interesting to note this guy's church went down a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And
I've
I know
never
he's
been
got
to a
another
church that
but
handed out a pamphlet like that for it, trying to teach you. They might hand out a pamphlet letting you know what it's about, but that's a little bit different, I would say. And that's only if you wanted the pamphlet. They just wouldn't just willy-nilly.
I'll call you back. I'll call you back in a little bit. All right. Bye.
Uh-oh. We interrupted a phone moment.
No, sorry. A friend called. I told him I'd call him back when we're done here.
Oh, no, that's sweet. God, what time is it?
11 o'clock, just after 11.
I have to go hit the sack, guys. I have to go in early tomorrow because there's trainings I have to set up for.
Okay. Oh, good talking with you, Randy.
Right, well, yeah, good to see you again, Rick. Let me just leave you both with this question. And this is the thing of this is like a thought experiment. I'm not trying to convince or unconvince here. This is just a pure thought experiment. I posed this question to my mom one time, and it absolutely stumped her. So the premise is, if you believe that there is a God, right, with whatever flavor you believe, pretty much it's agreed that a God would be omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful, right?
Or should be, yes.
Or should be, right? And so, therefore, they could create anything that they chose to create, just with the snap of a finger, let's say. So, if God is all-knowing and all-powerful, could God create a rock, let's say a rock that is so big and so heavy that even he couldn't lift it? Now, either he couldn't create a rock that is so big and so heavy he couldn't lift it, which is a limitation on God being all powerful, or he could create a rock that is so big and so heavy that even he couldn't lift it, which is a limit on his power in that way. So,
yeah, I've actually heard that before, and I've actually heard somebody that's given an answer to that too. Okay. And I just forget what the answer is.
Well,
I think it's something about a logical fallacy, but I could be wrong.
Well, it is, because here's the thing, okay? He's already done the build a rock that he can't lift because, like, for example, the moon is floating around in space. You can't lift something off.
He couldn't lift the moon out of its orbit if he chose to?
Oh, he could, but that's not lifting it. That's moving it. You're asking for a rock that he can't lift.
So he couldn't create a physical giant hand that could physically lift the moon out of the Earth's orbit?
But it's not lifting it because it's floating. You can't lift something that's floating.
What are you talking about?
He's being a little...
No, I'm being literal. So if you take if you take okay, just look around. You take anything, a lighter, a mouse, anything, right? And you pick it up. You're lifting it off a surface, right? But if you have a balloon that's floating with helium right next to you, you can't lift it because it's floating. Like it's not.
Now listen. The planets, stars, moons, they don't float. They do lay on a surface. It's called space-time. It's a curved surface, but it is a surface nonetheless.
I don't know what space time. What did you call it?
Space time. Space/time.
Okay.
Listen. You know what? Okay. You know the Einsteinian equation E equals mc squared, right?
No,
Yes.
I don't listen to Einstein.
Okay.
Oh my
Why? Because physics doesn't work in your spiritual.
You don't pay attention to Chris right now. He's being a little
No, I'm not.
facetious.
No, I'm not. No, physics. I don't understand physics. But go on. Keep going.
Okay, so the way Einstein's crazy idea, and when I say crazy idea, every one of his peers at the time in the early 1900s called him nuts for this. It was widely accepted that he was a fucking lunatic. But the way he envisioned what we call space, the universe, right, is not just as a three-dimensional thing, but the way that gravity works is gravity turns relative space into a flat surface, okay, which is called space-time, because there's no space without time, there's no time without space. So space-time, in a sense, becomes the floor of everything that we see in the universe. Now, it's a flat surface, so to speak, but because gravity exists, and the bigger the object, the more dense it is, the more gravity it holds, it curves that. Kind of like, you know, those machines where you put a quarter in a little slot and it runs down a little ramp, and then there's a sloped surface that goes down like an inverted cone with a small hole in the bottom, and the quarter rolls around and rolls around and rolls around on its edge, and it never falls over until it gets to the bottom. And when it gets to the bottom, it spins around really, really fast, flat, until it finally drops through the hole.
Yep.
That's basically how Einstein envisioned how the universe works. The flat surface of space-time is always curved.
You
The
fell
more
out.
gravity it has, the more it distorts the flat surface of space-time. And so therefore, everything in the universe that we see is essentially laying on a flat surface called space-time. Gravity simply warps that, and that's why things spin around each other. That's why smaller things spin around larger things.
Yeah.
It's not a proven fact, right? Like, we have formulas that say it's true, but it's not fact yet.
No, it absolutely is. It's been proven by the curvature of light through an eclipse. That is a proven fact.
Well, whether you want to say lift or whatever, you could say pick up the moon or pick it up and move it in some way, shape, or form. I think is more what Randy's getting at.
Exactly, Rick. Yeah, like whether you move it or lift it, could you make it so heavy and so big that you couldn't do either?
Yeah, and I
think you guys are
that's
just
a philosophical and theological question.
I think the word lift implies that it's on a physical plane that we can understand and feel. And so,
okay, how about we just say move?
No, because that's not the question. We can't warp the question. How about we just think about it till next week, and I'll think about it, and I'll come up with a good answer.
I didn't even mean the discussion to go this long here, because you were getting off, Chris. So I was going to say, just think on that, and we'll talk about it later.
All right, we'll talk later.
It's a topic I'm happy to revisit. No worries.
All right.
Yeah,
it's cool. All right. So, guys, we're gonna kill the stream.
Good night, brother. We'll talk to you again, Chris.
Hopefully, we don't hurt it too much when we kill it. We'll resurrect it later.
All right.
Good night.
Hey, here we go. It's waiting on me to hit